say good morning to all our viewers around the world. My name is Ige Olalekon, and it's my pleasure welcoming you this morning on board on the paper review of BGI TV Current. Early this morning, we have a lot of controversial news as it unfolds from the Nigerian political scene. But before we go ahead, let me take you through the headline for this morning. With me, I have the Vanguard newspaper and the Nigerian Tribune. And from the Vanguard newspaper, I have from the masthead this morning, federal government withdrew contempt charge against NLC TUC. Billion naira debt. WAEC withhold results of candidates. Now, from the board masthead this morning from the Vanguard newspaper, I have the news. Ministers, Senate stops El-Rufai, Okotete, Danladi'S. Then from another area from the Vanguard newspaper, I also have this. No plot to impeach deputy governor, and that is according to the Edo State governor or Baseki. While I also have gunmen kidnap monarch wife in Nasarawa. Then taking you through the Nigerian Tribune for this morning, I have this. Why Senate withheld El-Rufai, two others confirmation. Federal government move to end multiple taxation. And in case you are just joining us, this is BGI TV Current. So we enjoy you to like this channel. You also subscribe and click all in the comment section. You have the right to put down your comments. Now let me quickly take you through the news as it unfolds. Like from the Vanguard newspaper, I said we have the bold headline. Ministers, Senate stop El-Rufai, Okotete, Danladi'S. And from the body of the news I have this. After 7 days of screening, the Senate has confirmed 45 of the 48 ministerial nominees presented by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Those who were denied confirmation yesterday over security reports or pending security checks are immediate past governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, former deputy governor of Taraba State, Senator Abubakar Danladi'S, and Stella Okotete from Delta State. The trio had petition against their nomination. Specifically, Senate President Godswill Akpabio said the Senate did not clear them because of security report that must be cleared. However, the senators confirmed immediate past governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, deputy minority senator leader and former governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, former minister for labor and employment, Festus Keyamo, and others. Now, looking at this, what does it insinuate in the Nigerian political scene? Why do you think Senator Nasiru El-Rufai, the former governor of Kaduna State, was not confirmed? Now, looking at the situation of the country from the past 8 years of the last administration, President Muhammadu Buhari, we've seen a lot of controversial issues that happened in Kaduna State. Why there was an issue with the government of the state and the southern Kaduna, a lot of protests took place as at that point in time. And as a result of that, I feel, before we can give an appointment to any of our political leaders, I think we have to do a lot of work by going to their constituency to really know if the people are in support of the candidate of the president. And however, I believe that was exactly the reason why we have the federal character structure in place, whereby there will be a slot for each state of the federation. But it is best known only to the people of Kaduna State, and at the same time the lawmaker in the National Assembly, why the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, was not confirmed as a minister under this current president. But I believe, and I also want to enjoin you that just let us keep all fingers across as the news unfolds. BGI TV Current will always update you on whatever goes on or transpire as the time goes on. Now let's quickly take another look at another news headline from the Vanguard newspaper. Now, billion naira debt. WAEC withhold result of candidates from 8 states. Results of students from 8 states of the Federation that sat for the 2023 West African Examinations Senior Certificate WAEC has been withheld by the West African Examination Council over the indebtedness of the states to the council. This was disclosed at a press briefing on Monday in Lagos by the head of the national office, Mr. Patrick Aregbe, while giving details of the results of the examination concluded 44 days ago. Now the question is this: can we really say that education is still a legacy in Nigeria? If you look at the Western world, you come to realize that education has made a lot of positive impact in the growth and development of every society. But some of the challenges we had in Nigeria, apart from saying that the issue of insecurity, mismanagement, corruption, I think our government has not really taken education from the positive perspective, because of the fact that why will governors of various states deny their students or deprive them of the right to education? If you look at the Constitution of Nigeria, we have the fundamental human rights, and at the same time, there are some rights specifically that the citizens are entitled to. The students have the right to be taught and at the same time to further their education based on the Constitution. But if the government of a state is indebted to the regulatory or the examination body, what does it insinuate, or what spotlight does it give to the outside world? And apart from that, there is a saying that education is the true test ability of a student. If the students are not really assessed, then how would they be qualified to carry out their duty as a citizen of such state? Looking at what is going on, I think this has not really portrayed Nigeria in a positive light, because the outside world might feel that maybe Nigerian government are not being serious. We can cite example of some country or some states in America whereby even they make their internally generated revenue through education. You see some states that build various educational institutions, and through that alone they generate more money for their state or their country. For instance, if you look at Ogun State in the southwestern part of Nigeria, we have more than 6 or 7 universities. So Ogun State has taken it as a responsibility, despite the fact that we have private university. When you give a conducive environment, you allow it in place, you put it in place, automatically it's going to rub off on the entire nation as a whole. And at the end of the day, such acts will give a positive productivity. Now, let's go through another headline for today. We said we have this: federal government withdraws contempt charge against NLC TUC. Now, there have been a lot of issues recently in the Nigerian political scene, whereby as a result of the subsidy removal and some other issues, the labor union and the trade congress have been having a lot of tussle, confrontation with the federal government as a result of the state of the nation. Now let's see what we have from that headline. The federal government has withdrawn the contempt charge against Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC Trade Union Congress of Nigeria TUC, and their leaders 4 days before the expiration of the ultimatum by NLC to the government to withdraw the contempt summon or face indefinite nationwide strike. In a letter to Mrs. Falana and Falana Chamber, counsel to NLC Solicitor General of the Federation and Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Justice, Mrs. B.E. Jadi Agba, said the attention of the federal government of justice has been drawn to the communique issued by the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) on August 3, 2023, wherein NLC announced the suspension of its nationwide protest and criticized the contempt summons issued by the National Industrial Court against other issues. I think dialogue will solve the problem between the NLC and the federal government. And at the same time, I think it is high time the federal government take it as a responsibility in order to do what? To ignore the fire brigade approach, to make sure they look into all the grievance, all the accusations that have been laid before them or against them by the Nigerian Labour Congress and the trade union government. And since we know that the NLC and the TUC, they are the energy power of any nations in the world, so it will be more ideal for the federal government to watch out and to take it easy in order to make sure that there is a dialogue between the government and the labor union. Also, we also have from the sports headline today, from the headline, we also have this. We said, Niger coup, they are our brothers, don't deploy military. And that is according to El-Zakizaki, why he's encouraging the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The leader of the Islamic movement of Nigeria, Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakizaki, has cautioned President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from deploying military forces in Niger Republic, stating that they share history together, hence they are Nigerians' brother. El-Zakizaki stated this while addressing a group of Quran reciters as they visited in his Abuja's residence. Now, looking at this, the situation in Niger Republic has been tense, just as we know. And for the federal government to have taken such decision to deploy military to such area, I think, to me, or let's say it is based of my own opinion, the federal government is trying to make sure that it puts a lot of positive measures in place in order for such not to also spread across other African countries. I believe we should quickly remember what happened in the Arab Spring in the North Africa when it started in Tunisia. You know, it was as a result of the fact that the leaders and the opinion leaders in those particular area or region does not take the action immediately. That was exactly why the issue in Tunisia led to a breakup or a breakout of other countries around that region to oust their president. If you remember, it moved from Tunisia to Morocco, to Libya, to Egypt, and even extended to the Middle East. So I won't really blame President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but at the same time, I think it is more ideal for the federal government to put a committee in place now that will need to look into the issue of boundaries. Now, Nigerians in the northern part of the country are claiming that the people in Niger Republic are their brothers. Fine, but there are some things that we need to look at now, because the situation of the insecurity threat in the northern Nigeria has been something of alarm when we talk about the issue of Boko Haram the other time. And at the same time, there should be a regulation from the inflow and outflow of migrants into Nigeria and out of Nigeria. And this is exactly one of the reasons or one of the challenges that Nigerians had. And until date, the Nigerian government have not been able to curtail or curb the situation of insecurity in the country. Let's quickly take a look at another headline from the newspaper this morning. We have why Senate withheld El-Rufai Danladi'S Okotete's confirmation, and that is according to Nigerian Tribune. Now, the Senate on Monday declared 45 out of the 48 ministerial nominees sent to it by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Those whose names were not mentioned were former Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, former Deputy Governor in Taraba State Abubakar Danladi, and Stella Okotete from Delta State. No reason was given by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, for stepping down the clearance of the nominee who appeared before the Red Chamber. Now, looking at this, it is a situation of the president taking a decision on the conclusion of the evaluation of the senators in Nigeria in respect of the appointment given to those that will be nominated as ministers. Now, if you are just joining us, this is BGI TV Current, and for updates on our news and paper review and other programs, you can always like the channel. You also subscribe on it. And let us quickly look at what we have again from the headline for today. From the Nigerian Tribune, I have this: ECOWAS to meet on Niger Republic. Now, before I move on, let us quickly go for an advert, and I'll be right back. Back to your darling station, BGI TV Current, and from the Nigerian Tribune I have this: ECOWAS to meet on Niger on Thursday. By this Thursday, the ECOWAS, Economic Community of West Africans, will be meeting again in respect of the coup that is going on in Niger, and they will have to sit to deliberate on what step to take next. Then I also have this: no plot to impeach deputy governor. If you could recall, yesterday we talked about what happened in Edo State between the current sitting governor and his deputy, in person of Obaseki and Shuaib. Like we used to say, if you could recall from the history, Obaseki was once a time a deputy governor to Adams Oshiomhole, and at that point in time, they both also had a lot of issues or tussles, confrontations. But right now, let's see how it goes, because some of the National Assembly members in Edo State are taking steps to see how they can impeach the deputy governor, while the governor is claiming that no plot is in place already to impeach his governor. But let's see how it goes. But the most important thing is that it will be very ideal for the governors in Edo State to go on administratively, and the people of Edo State still expect more from this particular government in power. When there is confrontation or there is a lot of issues in the state, there won't be sanity in such state, and the political will be instability. But let's see how it goes for the rest of the day as the news unfold. Let me quickly take you back to the Vanguard newspaper. Now, the other time I give you the headline from the masthead on the issue of WAEC and the debt, owing 8 states are owing WAEC debt, of which this will deprive their students of getting their result. This is an unfortunate story, because when you look at Nigeria, we claim that, okay, education is the only thing or tools that could drive the economic development growth of a state. But What do we say about this? Some of the states that are mentioned in those corporates who are also corporates of this, we have the Zamfara state, we have the Niger state, and at the same time there are some other states which are also mentioned, of which is quite unfortunate, and the money they are owing is just too bogus, of which WAEC states that if those states does not remit those money automatically, their student will not have the privilege to get their result. Let me quickly go back to the case of Nasiru El-Rufai. Now, it has gone viral on the social media, and it is no more a news that after the interview and the assessment of the National Assembly in Abuja, 45 ministerial nominees have been confirmed, but we have 3 of them. We have Nasiru El-Rufai, the former governor of Kaduna State, and at the same time, he was the former minister for the Federal Capital Territory under the administration of President Olusegun Obasanjo then. What could have been the problem? What could have been the question mark why El-Rufai has not been confirmed as a Senate or as a minister under this administration? Well, we can't really tell, but let's just keep our fingers crossed and see as the news unfold. BGI TV Current, we always bring it to your view. 2 other people that we are not confirmed, we also have Senator Abubakar Danladi from Taraba State. Then we also have Stella Okotete from Delta State. Some of the reports we got was that it was as a result of the security report they got from their various states. And now, when we talk about constituency in Nigeria, for you to have gone to represent a political office in any part of the country, you must come from a particular ward. You must come from a particular constituency. And I think if we don't forget, during the time of Dino Melayi, when he was in the house in Abuja then, his constituency, they wrote a letter that they want to call him back to replace him with somebody else. Although as at that point in time, there was a lot of issues that lingered and lingered and lingered. At the end of the day, Dino Melayi was left alone. But this time around, let's see how it goes. Are we really sure that Nasiru El-Rufai will not become one of the ministers under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Are we really sure that it is what happened while he was the governor of Kaduna State that is haunting him now? Now, for those questions, time will tell as we go on, and watch out for the news in the Nigerian political scene as it unfolds. I believe on paper review for this morning, you really enjoyed the robust discussion with me. My name remains Ige or Lalekon, and I wish you a lovely day ahead. Now, if you enjoy this, kindly join us tomorrow for another edition. I wish you a lovely day, and I say bye for now.